What's going on, family? How y'all doing today, man? We got to talk about this, man. Essence Festival was this past weekend. It didn't go well. The numbers were low, and there's a lot of talk out there in these internet streets. So let's get into it.
For the second half hour, The Factor Uncensored. The Essence Festival is normally the crown of summer events, especially for the black community, placing a spotlight on black culture. But is there a crack in the crown? There's a list of complaints, including Target being a sponsor despite the company's rollback on DEI policies. People are also upset about some of the musical acts. Lauryn Hill reportedly did not hit the stage until 2:30 in the morning, playing to a nearly empty Caesars Superdome. Some fans are asking if Essence Fest has lost the plot and tarnished its legacy. Joining us to talk about it, comedian and radio veteran Nate Todd Smith, CEO of Regal Media, radio personality KG Smooth, publicist Brigitte Waugh, and Sherry Hendrinos, owner of Boost Marketing, also into public relations and crisis intervention. So, KG, you just got off the plane. From New Orleans, from the Essence Fest. What was it like? Because when we see many of the videos, some of the venues appear to be empty. The city just didn't look like it had.
It didn't feel the same. It didn't feel the same. It didn't look the same, but it definitely didn't feel the same. And a lot of what the people were saying is because of the new leadership. I was there at the convention center Saturday, prime time, 3 a.m. Saturday afternoon. Normally that place is wall to wall. It was like a ghost town. I was shocked. I was really shocked. And so I don't know. Some folks are saying the acts. I thought that the lineup was pretty dope each night. Lauryn Hill being really late on Friday night, that wasn't her fault.
That's par for the course, though.
That's the norm. That's the norm.
But it's not her fault this time. They actually started egregiously late, and Target being a sponsor, the title sponsor, they know folks ain't doing that. But what they're saying is the ownership, that they are trying.
Now, I do think the bigger deal in this is that Target boycott. There's a lot of folks out there. I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of folks out there that are boycotting Target. They have been boycotting Target dating back to, I believe, March, if I'm not mistaken. And I heard some rumblings before the Essence Festival that, hey, there's a lot of folks saying that, hey, they're not getting tickets because of this Target boycott situation going on. Now, we're going to get into it because these folks, they're going to talk about the diaspora and things of that nature and how much Essence Fest has changed and the new ownership, so forth and so on. There's some problems there. There are some problems there for a lot of people. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already, though. Let's keep going.
To do more with the African diaspora and with our Caribbean family and take away the Black American culture that started Essence Fest in the first place. That's what the main conversation on the ground was.
And to take Caroline Wanga is the CEO, current CEO.
Yes.
What do you see as a problem here? And is there a problem in your mind?
In my mind, it's not. I hate the diaspora wars and everything. And I've been, seeing all these things and people talking on TikTok and all the different sites. And I feel like they're using a lot of words just trying to say African booty scratcher on the cool, like just being very negative towards Africans and people that are Pan-African. And I don't like that.
And really quick, for those who are wondering what we're talking about, many say it's more pro-Africa than it is Black American and the celebration of the Black American culture.
I mean, the lineup is pretty much all Black American. And I mean, if Essence was up for sale, like a Black American could have purchased it as well. So I think sometimes when things aren't working out or you're being evolving or, just change. Essence started in 1970. The first Essence Fest was in 1995. It is 2025. It's going to look different. America's different. Everything is different. And I think it's a little bit, a little intellectually lazy just to say, it's an African that's leading, that owns it, and that's another one that's leading it. So they're trying to change everything. I saw the whole, Jollof versus jambalaya thing. When people always ask me growing up, what is jollof rice like? I would always say it's kind of like jambalaya, because I think everybody eats beans and rice. We season it a little differently, but I think there's a lot of ways to be together together than separate. I think that's just a lazy intellectual argument.
I think that they could have named it something else, like the taste of the diaspora or something like that. But to make it like, they named it the Battle of Jollof, which was very big on the graphic, versus jambalaya in this small ass font.
But was that one thing? Was that one thing out of?
Yeah, she's defending really hard. I'm assuming that maybe she is of African heritage or something along those lines. And when I say that, I mean maybe she is maybe a first or second generation immigrant. Her parents, they come from a country over in Africa, which is, whatever, God bless her. But there is a difference, right? There's a difference between Black Americans and the African Americans that come over from the continent of Africa. I don't necessarily consider myself an African American. I'm an American, and I'm a Black American. That's pretty much if someone had to say, hey, what's the adjective? The descriptor is, hey, I am Black. I am American. I don't know nothing about Africa, but I will say this. Yeah, she was absolutely right. She was kind of, being a little smart mouth, a little smart aleck, but in the sense that she's like, hey, if y'all wanted to keep it the way it was as a Black American cultural thing, you should have purchased it when it was up for sale. And the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe a African-owned company owns it, and someone who actually comes from Kenya over in Africa is the CEO. Hey, they're going to get a chance because they have the keys, and they're going to get a chance to kind of shape that event into however they see that event needs to be shaped. It's theirs now. And I think people need to understand that. Now, the thing is, for Essence Fest, I mean, if you're in this, the people who own it, if you're in this to make money, I don't know is that the smart route to go? You know what I'm saying? Is that the smart route to go if you're in it to make money? To an extent, it doesn't necessarily make sense. If they're like, hey, we're going to push, this. And the thing is, before I go on, I'm going to let this video play. Frankie Beverly and Mays has been, a staple there at Essence Festival for a very long time. Everybody knows that, one of them passed away. I believe it was Frankie Beverly. And they didn't even do a tribute. They didn't have a tribute set up. So that just, again, goes back to the cultural aspect of things of not knowing Black culture enough to say, hey, these are cultural icons that participated in this festival for years on end, and there's no tribute. I'm just saying. They're definitely gonna miss out.
3 days, you know what I mean?
Sure,
at the Superdome,
that was
one thing.
That was one thing.
And there's so many different activations. There were so many different acts. This one thing means that, Africans are taking it over. I don't really, buy that.
All right, Bridget, let's hear from you.
I mean, I saw different things as I was looking at, doing my own research, and it looked like it's a matter of opinion. Some people say they had a great time. Some people said that, it sucked. And the main thing that everyone said, though, is that Target, being the title sponsor, was a problem for them because we're boycotting Target. And a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram were like, hashtag boycott Target, and how that wasn't right because it's like they connected it to Caroline because it's like she used to be the head of DEI at Target, and then now they're the title sponsor at Essence. That's for the culture, which is for Black Americans, if you will. And there's been a long time that there's been this confrontation, let's say, with Black Americans and with actual Africans, because it's always been said that Africans don't like Black Americans because we're lazy or, different things of that nature. So it just depends. I think part of that comes from that underlying current that's still there against, with Black Americans and Africans as a whole. So I hate that they're disparaging us with that.
We'll continue in just a second, Bridget. We'll be right back with our guests. Stay with us. You back with Essence. Sherry, when you talk about a crisis situation in marketing and your image, what should the Essence Fest do in order to address those who may be unhappy with the way things turned out this year?
Yeah, I think in any brand, you have to listen to your consumer. It doesn't matter what brand you are, and from what I'm hearing and from everyone, KG was there, you have to listen to who you're catering to. That's important because the point of this festival is to celebrate Black culture and Black heritage, and it seems like it's veering away from that, from what everyone's saying. Personally, I didn't go this year. I had people on my team that went that did say it was way slower, was not as busy. But in any brand, you have to know your audience, you know, and so you have to evolve with time. But still, if you're seeing your numbers go down, I think it was like 73% this year, then you have to adapt. You say, what are we doing wrong here to adapt to what our following wants, and you should follow if you want to keep it going.
And of course, you have to acknowledge.
She is absolutely right there. From a business standpoint, this is a nightmare. 73% drop. Oh yeah, you got to poll some people. I hope they got an email list. You got to poll some people. You got to reach out and be like, hey man, why didn't you show up? And you got to do a survey and get an understanding as to how we can salvage this. Or maybe it's a situation where they're like, you know what, screw the Black Americans, or, you know, as some people would say, the FBAs, the Foundational Black Americans, screw them. We're just going to push this thing further to Africa. And hey, we're going to have more, you know, African artists, you know, be on the lineup. And we're going to do more things. Maybe they go in that direction. Who knows? But a 73% drop, oh man, that's a major blow to the bottom line. Major. That means Essence Fest, in my opinion, just hearing that, they probably didn't make money. Maybe they broke even, but it doesn't sound like, when you have a 73% drop in attendance, it's hard to make money in that manner. I would assume that they probably lost money on this festival.
To yourself that you may be doing something wrong, Todd.
And she mentioned about evolving. The music has evolved, and we mentioned it off camera. A lot of those original artists, Frankie Beverly, God bless his soul, they had passed away. Back in the day when I would go with friends, I would go with my parents. There was always acts that everybody could relate to. Nowadays, you have such a interesting point in urban music where you have something that the young people gonna love, and some of the old people gonna love, and it's like no in between. You know what I mean? So some of the younger artists, like the Coco Joneses of the world, they're great and I love them, but they might not have that long track record to have built an audience of young and old. So that's an interesting position for Essence to be in. The princes of the world are gone. All these artists that everybody could work.
We had Maxwell. We
Yeah, that's
had
true.
Baby
But can the young
we had
people? Yeah,
Boyz II
yeah,
Men,
that's
we
true.
had Jill Scott. We had Jasmine Sullivan. We had Patti LaBelle. We had Siren.
But also a lot of
But
these
do they get that?
artists-
But do they get the?
There's still enough, you know, seasoned artists out there with strong catalogs that could hold that down. There's something else going on.
Okay, Summer Walker, but do they get a lot of those people? Do they get the younger artists? Maxwell, I'm cool with Maxwell, but will a 20-year-old jam to Maxwell? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Are they
So
spending
They're gonna be
their
like,
money
who the
there?
hell is Maxwell?
Yeah, no, there was some young people at Maxwell.
I mean, Frankie Beverly and Mays and them was there all the time, and no one concerned themselves with would a 20-year-old listen to them.
We were there.
A lot of these artists are very accessible online. A lot, you know, Boyz II Men was there again. Boyz II Men just came to Houston too. So it's like the accessibility is there, and so we don't have to wait to Essence. We can see them online. We can follow them. We can join their fan club,
That
join
is
their
one reaction I
Patreon.
did get.
There's so many
She's right on
ways
that
to
one.
reach out to artists now. We're not waiting for the Essence Festival the way we used to.
Is there an affordability question as well?
I think so too. I think that, you know, there's a lot of people that have.
She's obviously caping for these people big time. She's got to be of African continent descent. She has to be, because she's caping entirely too hard.
Have lost their jobs, or their disposable income is just not where it used to be. The price of a regular concert ticket has like quadrupled. You know what I mean? So if you're
Yo, folks will spend their money on what they want to spend their money on. Stop it. It's not an affordability thing. It's definitely not that. They rub some folks the wrong way. 73% drop, that's not affordability. That's not affordability.
going to other concerts and then you want to put in Essence, I mean, the money, the budget ain't, it ain't, the finances ain't.
Why won't anybody call her out? Why won't anybody call her out and like, yo, why are you caping for these people so hard?
Okay, guys, go ahead, really quick.
I was going to say, because the week before, Beyonce was here. And everybody came from around the world to see her. So did they spend all their money to see Beyonce?
Right.
They couldn't afford Essence?
Because Beyonce will come through and snatch some bags.
Okay.
Snatch all the tax refunds, all of it.
And now let's move to Carnival Cruise Lines. Many African Americans are saying that the company is creating
I really dislike that term, African American.
rules to be discriminatory against them, like no fans when you're dancing. I don't know. You know,
So if that's the case, so if that's the case about the fan, then
About the fan.
that is racist.
Yeah.
If they say that, because it's regulated to a certain song.
Yeah.
However, if you can't say if one.
If you guys have ever served in the military or been on a ship or anything along those lines, you know that a lot of the times a rule gets created because something bad happened. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit, if they're out there clacking those daggone fans and somebody done messed around and hit somebody and it caused a melee, or it hit somebody and it hurt them, and because it's a safety. Like, what are we talking about? They're always quick to go straight to racism.
The culture brings in the, cucarachas, or, you understand what I'm saying? You can't say that. You could just say don't bring in certain items or something like
Yes,
that.
you can.
But I think the curfews
Yes, you
and
can.
things of that nature, I think that's fine because it's a safety thing.
Yeah.
That I think.
And they had most of the rules I was reading before.
Yeah.
But I was asking KG, I'm like, did someone get hit in the eye with the fan or
Yeah.
something? Like,
That's the whole
why
thing.
did you change
It's
this?
highly
And I
probable.
Sound like
remember,
gunshots.
you know,
That's what
I was-
I heard.
I mean,
They
There's
sound like
always a
gunshots.
couple that are just like a little disrespectful with the fans, where it's like, everybody having a good time, then somebody got to go get their big fan and they just doing too much. And it's that one person, those three people, your cousins, Isaiah, saying that they ain't on baby oil, they take it too far, and now we can't bring fans in.
But I think that these new rules, I think black people are fine with these rules. I
Yeah.
think those rules are for the N-words.
But check it out. The complaints that I've
agree with
gotten,
him.
I've heard.
I agree with them, and there is a difference. You know what I'm saying, between the N-words and just regular black folks that want the same peace that everybody else want. There is a difference. No difference than the difference between your redneck trailer parks. You know what I'm saying, and regular white folks that's just trying to get it. No different than anybody else. There is a difference.
Heard from Carnival Cruise have come from black people. You know what I mean? A lot of the complaints people have said has gotten too
Absolutely.
ghetto. So a lot of this might be a
Yeah.
response.
Because
to
I'm paying.
Yo, when you spend that kind of bread to go on a vacation, now I know that the price on Carnival has come down a little bit, but it can still be fairly pricey. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you start talking about, rooms with balconies and things of that nature. You're still talking for two people. You're still talking, a $3,000 to $4,000 trip. That ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, it's not a $6,000 or $7,000 trip, but $3,000 to $4,000 is still a decent amount of change. Now, yeah, you can go for less than $2,000 if you're sitting interior and things of that nature. But this is really about class. You know what I'm saying? This is really about class, because there are some ignorant, trashy, ghetto white folks out there that don't know how to daggone behave when they go somewhere as well. So this isn't black people. I don't understand why people get all in their feelings, when they say, hey, they don't want this type of behavior, and then people immediately go to black. Nah, it's class. We don't want the ghetto degenerates. We don't want to be around them at all. I don't live around them in my regular day life, and I for daggone sure don't want to be around them when I go on vacation.
My money, I'm here to relax. Yeah,
And
I'm here to
enjoy the
party a little
cruise.
bit, but I'm also here to relax and party. And maybe I don't want to hear flat,
growing up, the cruises were very
all the
boring,
time.
so I thought they started to get more fun. I was like, oh wow, when I was younger and my mom took us on a cruise, it was very boring, and I thought it was a fun thing. Now,
Shuffleboard.
yeah, I was like, oh, we could do that. Yeah, they should just mark now they actually have these.
Yeah.
Or the
exactly.
Soul Cruise.
Soul
Cruise.
Cruise.
There you go.
They have the celebrity
You have it
cruises.
for us that like to wake up and read the book.
So the table
while
talk.
the sun is rising.
Breakfast cruise, yeah, you know what I mean? So,
They have a lot of those celebrity cruises too. Like they have all
We're not even
different
saying
kinds.
celeb. We're just like calm and cool. I
I
don't need it to
mean,
be
you know, you have to
celeb.
pick
I
what you
want it to be
like best.
laid back, because the celebs bring the fan people that just.
That's my.
We'll
I
be
like
right
doing
back.
that.
We'll continue
That's
this
fun.
conversation when we come to criticism that they're getting from the black community, or some in the black community, saying these rules have been in place since 2023 and have not changed. All right, Todd, your thoughts. I mean, do we have some people in our community who could go too far, do too much?
Yeah.
yeah, go too
Yes.
far. You know what I mean?
And that's for every community, and every family got one person they know that's just like, man, don't invite that person, man. They're gonna embarrass. They're gonna come over here and cut a fool. They're gonna get to fighting. They're gonna get to arguing with somebody. Everybody has a family member like that. We all got one. They still family though.
I don't have a problem with rules that make sense. You know, like if there's something that's a disturbance to other people, like Bridget said, when you target a particular song or you go after you're going after a particular group, that's where it's a problem. But if the rules are put in place because people of every race are complaining, it's to me that's not racial. Like if it's a noise problem, it's a disturbance problem, you have to respect other people, and they're there to have a good time, and but you have to respect their boundaries. So as long as it's not targeting one group, but it seems like a lot of times people do put policies in place that they seemingly target us. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when we're up in arms, I think we are justified because we've experienced certain. I've gone to clubs where they have different rules, different nights. You know, whatever I wear, the dress code is something different that day. You know what I mean? So it's targeting people who look like me, but we need to realize that there is a way to act in public, and that goes for every race. So if we're
Yeah, this dude here, man, I don't want to hear no more of that. I can't. But if you behave yourself, you know what I'm saying, and respect people the way you like to be respected, treat people the way you want to be treated, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys pulling up and rocking with me, man. I'll catch up with you all next time, man. Peace.